Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Bill Allen, sitting in for Winston Chester. Got a semi-special guest this morning. And today is Monday, November the 7th. And if you didn't set your clocks right, you're probably not seeing this live. So anyway, let's start with the weather. Today we're looking at a high of 86 with a low of 63, and then by this afternoon the northeast wind at 10 to 15, which you can add 5 or 10 miles to that. Tides today, low tide this morning is right now 5:41 a.m. and a high tide at 8:50 p.m. Now we're looking at a situation with a full moon tomorrow, so I think there's about 93% illumination, as they call it right now, which can make it difficult for fishing. However, the water temp is still at 70 degrees, so it's cooled down some, and you know the fish are getting in that stage where they're in the salt water, where they're inshore, where they're getting a little bit confused still about where to be. And looks like, you know, we've had this weather for a couple of weeks and it's going to hold for a while. So hopefully there's some cooler weather coming to make up their minds as to where they should be. However, there is a very high activity on the major fishing times today, which is 9:48 a.m. to 11:48 a.m. So significantly after the tide, but it's giving the fish, I'm assuming, an opportunity to get over everything they ate during the night and be ready to feed again. So I'm going to hold off on the river readings. We're going to talk about Howard's Creek when we come back, and let's go ahead and take this break. Hey, welcome back. I am joined here by one of my partners in crime, and this one for, you know, probably better than 40 years. He's getting old. But we just, the reason I held off is because this little first segment, we wanted to talk about Howard's Creek. We were down there, what, 2 weekends ago?
Weekend before last.
Weekend before last, and you need to bring your own water with you to the Brothers River.
Yeah, you need to bring a little bit of water if you want to launch at the lower landing, that's for sure.
The river readings are Apalachicola at Bluntstown is 1.7 feet.
I don't know that I've ever seen it that low.
And you've been down there since you could walk, so.
I don't know that but absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I mean, the water, I've never seen.
Beautiful.
I mean, you'll never see the river as clear as you'll see it right now. It is absolutely beautiful.
It is. It is gorgeous down there. Choctawhatchee at Caryville is 1 foot. I mean, it's practically gone underground. And before when we pulled up the other day, we had, in fact, Cody was with us, and so we had 2 different boats. I had mine, Bill had his, and I got there to the lower landing at Howard's Creek first, and they have come in there and put a ramp in, a concrete launching ramp, which a little reminiscent of something Evel Knievel might have used. There's a pretty good slope to it. It goes back and it goes straight down.
Yeah, and my understanding is it's not as steep as it was when they first did it. When they first put it in.
Yeah.
And Gulf County bought that lower landing
that
back before
whole
the
area.
hurricane. And I don't think that they didn't do any improvements on it with the ramp and all that until just recently. But they did go in. It is a concrete ramp. But, I mean, it goes in and then it breaks straight down.
Lord, I'd hate to see it before they redid it.
I know it, but
I can't imagine
actually,
that.
I think there were some guys that got in there and on that break where it goes down, they got their trailers.
The trailer got stuck.
And they had an issue, so they had to go in and redo it, but it's still real steep, and it may be better when the water comes up. But as it is right now, if you launch, you're going to get water in your boat.
I wouldn't. I sat there and looked at it, and one of the golf cart army from Howard's Creek came by, and he's like, he stopped, just talking like usual, and is like, "You gonna launch that by yourself?" And I'm looking at it going, "No, I don't think so." I said, "I got my buddy coming behind me here," and that's what he was telling me. Now, he also said that, and this is maybe the way state does things, that's temporary.
Okay.
That they are going to come back, because right now it's a one boat launch, and that they're going to come back and cover that whole area, so you could probably launch a couple of boats at one time, but
well, it's never a good thing when one of the golf cart posse pulls up and starts dialing his friends. Hey, we got one fixing to launch there.
Y'all come on down.
That's not.
Y'all come on down.
It's not going to be good.
And evidenced by the fact that there were no boat trailers and trucks there when we got there. Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
When we got there, so I knew Bill wasn't far behind me, so I waited on him, and we did launch my river boat, and I was in it. Of course, it's stick steering, and I was up front, so I thought that might help, but it's so steep that, a little water came over the back, but I hollered, Bill stopped, and we undid it and kind of worked it off the trailer, but so after we experimented with mine and put water in it, Bill went to the upper landing.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that.
Which is what I would suggest, is that you go up there and launch. It's a great launch. It takes some time to get out, and you can't be in a hurry, especially right now. You need to idle out. But, I appreciate the effort, but, and maybe it's because the water is so low, but if it is, I wouldn't recommend it right now. I would go on down, park down there. Those folks are real nice. You can leave your truck there like we did for 2 or 3 days and pay them for the launch, which is, not a tremendous amount of money. But so just a warning on the river and the launch down there. They are starting to do some things, but I mean, it goes back and just goes straight down. You're going to get water, and then you knew somebody that got a significant amount of water in their boat there.
But it'd be nice if I don't know, was that Gulf County I'm assuming that was Gulf County that.
I don't know who did that.
But it would be nice if it would. I mean, there's a lot of potential at that lower landing to to dredge out and to do some things. So
all right, we're going to go ahead and take this first break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. And we were talking off screen as usual, but I did back up to it to take a look at. Bill brought up a good point. I backed up to take a look at it, and when my trailer started down the ramp, it completely disappeared. So if you're by yourself, unless your boat's 30 feet long, and you may not be able to see it then, you can't see your boat, you don't know how far in the water you are, and you don't know if it's filling up with water.
You can't see it in your rear view mirrors, your side mirrors, you can't look over the back.
Yeah,
your boat just disappears when it goes over that break.
The way we did it was Bill got in my truck and backed me down with me in the boat, and I had to holler at him because I knew he couldn't see anything.
My theory was it was your boat.
Yes, it is. Right.
I was good with it.
Full speed ahead. Yeah. We'll be all right. Yeah.
Reminds
you of Charles a little bit, doesn't it? I love him. Guy was down there for 150 years, I think. And Charles would put your boat in kind of quick if he was in a hurry. So, in a hurry.
Yeah.
Charles and in a hurry. No, that never came in.
That didn't happen.
Those two didn't collide in a sentence. But, and I'm going to say it again, and I say it every time that the water's this low, or any time, you need to be wearing a life jacket when you're running around that river. It is low. There's stuff sticking up. I've got one of those automatic inflatable ones, and I promised Donna and myself that I would wear it every time I got in the boat. And I'm like probably a lot of you. I always had some. I had them in the boat, but I didn't know where they were for the most part, and I never wore one. But we lost a good friend a while back from a boating accident, and had he had the life jacket on, he might have survived. So, but it's when you're coming out of the creek, you got to take your time. I mean, as well as Bill knows it, you've got to take your time. And when you're running around that river and you start going up into Bierman's or Harrison's or wherever you're going, you need to be careful. There's stuff sticking up that
you're going to see some things you hadn't ever seen before. Down there.
That's right. That's right.
There's a lot of things visible right now that's not visible when that water's a foot higher than it is right now. So it's actually kind of scary. Think about what you've been running over all this time when the water was
I know it at ridiculously high speeds. So those things aren't expensive, and I would urge you to get one and put it on when you get in the boat. You don't even know it's on. It's not those big bulky things anymore, and it's just dangerous running around down there. The Choctawhatchee as well. I mean, there's stuff you've never seen before, and there's a couple of them there that are out a good ways that are exposed now, like so far, and you're thinking, man, that wasn't far going over the top of those to leaving your lower unit somewhere at the bottom of Bierman's in there. So now, however, the fishing is most excellent.
Great right now.
There are no fish in the woods because there's no water in the woods. No. And so we went down there, of course, to catfish, and we caught, we're running trot lines, but we also, fish with rod and reel, hoping to catch those corncob size ones. But I love them, dearly love them. The two best things in the world is catching those catfish and eating them there on the houseboat, and going to the mountains and catching those trout and eating them camped right by the creek. Fish doesn't get better than that.
That's the way they're supposed to be.
It doesn't get better than that. But so your trot lines, bush hooks right now are very effective. We didn't run any bush hooks this time. We've been running trot lines. We did 4, 3, 4? We did
I think I had
4.
3. Got 3 out.
And we did pretty well because that's where the catfish are. Now, I made fun of him about about a lot of things, but I made fun of him about the strawberry chicken, and then I had to eat my words on TV and tell everybody that it works. It's absolutely amazing. And so when we went down this time, he pulls out a bag of gizzards and shrimp.
I had chicken too.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, okay, we know this works. You went through all the ridicule, and you know it works, and now we're fishing with something else.
Well, I mean, gizzards, that's chicken. I mean, that's chicken.
It's not strawberry.
I had the strawberry on it. So, my thinking, I was wanting to see, because it's going to stay on the hook. And
it did too.
Yeah, it did. It was still there.
The next morning.
But I just wanted to see if it would work, and it didn't. So, and we tried shrimp.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah. So hey, we caught our fish on strawberry chicken. That's what can I say?
What can you say?
Yeah. But anyway.
He even went so far as to sitting there at the houseboat the first night and peeled the shrimp for the catfish, which, personally I thought he should have had some kind of tartar sauce or something else with them. I think that may have been the problem, but we did pretty well. But one of the strangest things happened to us is, I don't know if we got time to talk about it right now, but we lost some hooks, we lost some things like that, and you want to show them real quick in the time we've got here, if you can show them
we baited, I guess it was the second night. I said, and I had been fishing all day and been fishing rod and reel and fishing with pieces of shrimp and had done really well, caught some nice catfish on it. So I thought, hey, we'll bait trot lines with it tonight and we'll catch some good catfish. Well, I've got 3 trot lines. They're probably 100 yards apart. And we baited the first one, and then we baited the second, and we baited the third one. I told Bill, I said, as well as those fish ate all day on that shrimp, I said, we may have some fish on that first line. And it was still about an hour before dark. So we went back and checked that first line. I picked that line. It was not a bait on it. I mean,
Clean.
wasn't a fish on it, but there was no bait on it. It was all gone. All 3 of those dadgum trot lines within a period of about 20 minutes were clean. And
Nothing.
so we went back and baited them with chicken
And I will
we
show you
caught
the
them.
results of some of that. But I mean, literally in 20 minutes of baiting those 3 lines, whatever had cleaned those shrimp off. There wasn't a thing on there. No evidence that
No.
we'd ever done anything. So
Now we may have caught some fish with smaller hooks, but I don't. I mean, I don't fish with smaller hooks on the trot lines. I'm home.
you don't know what you're going to get. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take this break, and we'll come right back with some pictures of that and talk about how we set up those lines. All right, welcome back. So we didn't take a ton of pictures, but show you these. This is an example of pretty much the size we caught the whole time, and it was cool. You know, it was like 35 at night when we were down there. It was pretty cool. It was good sleeping.
Good campfire weather.
Running those lines, but. You know, that's about the size catfish that we caught. The fish is on the right. That's about the size of the catfish we caught, and you know, we did pretty well. But now when we were fishing, and I was fishing with earthworms, when we were where the water was moving really well, and outside some of the creeks that are actually still there, we caught a bunch of shellcrackers.
We did.
Good, nice, big shellcracker that eat very well too down there.
Yeah, I love them.
And so, you know, I think fishing is just fantastic, period. When we were there that weekend, they had a brim tournament, a benefit tournament, and they all had quite a few to weigh in. So you want to show them how you snell that hook, and we can talk about running those lines a little bit?
Yeah, you know, over the years, I've tried about every setup there is on trot lines and bush hooks, and my latest one is I think snelling a hook seems to be the most effective way to get a hook up. And it's hard sometimes to get a hook up. You're going to lose more baits than you're going to catch fish on a trot line. But anyway, so I think this has improved my hookup rate. So anyway, I'll show you
And the
this.
circle hooks.
Right, I use now this is an 8/0 circle hook. And this is what I use this time of year because the bigger fish seem to, I don't know, it's just an easier hookup on them to catch a bigger fish. So anyway, this is some tarred, braided line. This is not twisted, this is braided line that I use so the ends don't ravel as bad. So the way that I snell a hook is I always go through the front being the side with the hook, the shank on it. And I run it, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on to see how to do this. So anyway, run your line through that, and then with your finger, hold it down the shank. Now wrap it tightly, about 10 wraps, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nice.
And then run it from the back through the front on that one. And pull it tight. And that is a snailed hook. Now, when you pull down on this, when the fish bites, see what the hook does? When a fish bites the bait, the hook rolls up. And that's the reason I believe that you get a better hookup. Now on the other end of it, on the other end of my leader, I just tie a simple overhand knot, just like that, one time. And now you run that through the swivel that's on your line, run that through the swivel, and then it's just one overhand knot again, like that, and you pull it down tight, and and you're going, well, that won't hold. Well, it will hold. I guarantee you it'll hold a car. It won't come out. So anyway, that's the way I do it. I put my hooks about, I don't know, depending on the trot line, depending on how far I'm running. If I'm running it all the way across the river, I may put the hooks 10, 15 foot apart, or the leaders 10 or 15 foot apart. If I'm running it in a small slough, I may run it only 5 or 6 feet apart. But you want them far enough apart where if you get a fish on this line and he runs this way, he can't they can't get twisted with another fish. So
occasionally you have some help running the lines too.
Yeah, it's I mean, you can run them by yourself. There's a lot of guys at commercial catfish that run them by themselves, and that's great.
No, I'm talking about Mr. Gator running the lines.
Oh, yeah. I've had some. Now, like I say, this is an 8/0 hook, and I've had these hooks straightened completely out, and that's not a catfish.
We hope.
That's Mr. Alligator. He likes strawberry chicken too, and
he likes what eats strawberry chicken.
So I have actually been up there to run my lines and see Mr. Alligator swimming away. So
slowly, full of catfish.
Yeah. So anyway, so they
well, I appreciate you guys watching, and that's just a little bit of information from our latest trip, and it's a great time to be down at the river. You got to be careful. I'd launch at the upper landing, not the lower landing, but Bill, I appreciate you coming in, and I'm looking forward to the next time we get to the houseboat. So
always fun.
You guys have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.